Sonic's Green Hills Adventures Season 4 Chapter 10 Enemy Spies. Shock's point of view.
When we arrived on Earth to spy for you, we went to the Blue Hedgehog's address. We were now in front of a larger story house with balconies. Okay, Locke? Time to see if the hedgehog freak is hiding something. I said as I casted a spell that would record everything we were about to see during this mission. Then we carefully looked through all the fifth story windows. However, they were completely empty and the lights were off. I can't believe they're all asleep. It's time we investigate the second story. Take my hand and I'll cast a spell to get us onto one of those balconies. I said as I saw the people in the master bedroom were asleep. Locke took my hand and I'll dog us onto one of the balconies.
Sonic's point of view.
I was about to head inside when I saw two, obviously who were not normal, kids standing on the balcony of Annika's nursery. Hey, who are you two? What are you doing? I demanded in my panic as I got into a running stance to jump onto the balcony they were standing on.
None of your business.
The girl screamed and then she took out a small book and did something to me. I immediately blacked out.
Once Sonic was out cold, Locke went to the window to see Annika sleeping in her crib. Locke said gleefully as he looked back at Shock. Shock hurried over to Locke's side.
Of course I knew it. Oh, baby hoy. That will intrigue the boss immense. Let's see what's in the other rooms.
Shock said excitedly as she and Locke went to the next balcony where Sonic was passed out. They looked in and saw Silver sleeping, but then he sat up. He started to head towards the balcony when he saw that Sonic was out there. Luckily for the terrible do, Shock used a sound canceling and invisibility spell so he couldn't see nor hear what they were saying.
Sonic, are you okay? Can you hear me? Please wake up. I better get Shadow now.
Silver said in a panic, trying to shake Sonic awake, but it was no reason. Headed to Shadow's room, Locke and Shock went to the next balcony where Shadow and Midnight were sleeping, just in time to see what was happening. Silver's point of view.
When I got to Shadow's room, I ran over to his bed and started to shake him frantically. Please wake up, Shadow. It's Sonic. I said as I did this. Finally, he woke up.
What is it, Silver? What's wrong?
Shadow asked drowsily as he rubbed his eyes tiredly. I woke up with an odd feeling that something was wrong and looked around the room for Sonic when I saw he wasn't in his bed. He's out cold on our balcony. I replied as I was pulling him towards our bedroom.
Oh great. Looks like our enemies are striking a little earlier than we thought.
Shadow said as we entered the bedroom. We hurried over to Sonic to wake him up, but nothing worked.
I have one more thing that might wake him, Cassiel.
Shadow said as I watched him hover his hand over Sonic's face. Almost immediately, Sonic woke up with a sharp gasp. Thank goodness you were awake, Sonic. What happened? I asked as me and Shadow hugged Sonic out of relief.
Two kids were on Annika's balcony when the girl did something to make me pass out.
Sonic replied shakily as he stood back up.
Sonic, you go check on Annika. Silver, let's make sure those two kids aren't still here.
Shadow said, immediately taking charge of the situation. Me and Sonic nodded and I followed Shadow using my psychokinesis.
Meanwhile, Locke and Shock were discussing what they just saw.
Oh, he really was hiding some things. A baby sibling and a third brother.
Shock said in evil delight. Shock kept all three spells going to avoid getting caught in the act again. Locke took another look inside and realized Jack's daughter was sleeping in there.
Shock Midnight is here, which means her mother might be here too.
Locke reported hastily.
Well, there's one more room to check. Let's see if she's in there.
Shock said as she took them to Longclaw's balcony. When they got there, Shock's theory was spot on. However, they saw Longclaw in there too.
I can't believe it, we hit the jackpot, but who is that very large O in there with Sully?
Locke said in confusion.
I don't know, but let's get that told you.
Shock said as she ended the spells. However, that was a mistake, for that's exactly when Shadow and Silver saw them.
Hey, stop right there, you creeps.
Shadow screamed once he was in front of them.
Oh great, I told you we should have just teleported out of here.
Locke said angrily as he pushed Shock in annoyance. Silver then used his psychokinesis to freeze them in place.
Hey, what is this? Let us go.
Shock demanded in a panicked confusion.
Not just yet. Now, who are you and why were you spying on us?
Shadow asked seriously as he glared at them.
I'm Locke and she's Shock. We are spying because OG is here and told us to.
Locke said very reluctantly. He knew what Shock would do to him later and was not looking forward to it.
Hey, you should be more worried about that blue one right now because that wasn't a sleeping spell.
Shock said deviously. Silver immediately got closer to her.
What did you do?
Silver said shakily in fear and anger.
Look up at the full moon and go see for yourself.
Shock replied seriously.
This isn't over.
Silver said as he released them from his psychokinetic hold. The two kids immediately teleported away.
Come on, Shadow, we need to find Sonic. Now.
Silver said frantically as he flew over to Annika's balcony. Shadow nodded and teleported over there. As they saw Sonic holding Annika and heading to the balcony, Sonic's point of view.
When I got to Annika's nursery, she was crying heavily, so I immediately took her in my arms. Hey, shit's okay. Nothing will harm you if I have anything to say about it, I said as I rocked her in my arms trying to soothe her. But she kept on going. What's wrong, little sis? I asked her hoping she somehow could give me an answer, but she kept crying. Then I thought of an idea. Singing a lullaby always works.
You're okay. You're alright. I'll never ever leave your side. I will stay and I will fight with you. You're okay. You're alright. I'll stay here through the darkest night. All the way. I will fight with you.
After I finished, she was crying still but was calming down. That's it, Annika. Maybe some fresh air will help too, I said as I walked out to the balcony. That's when I saw Shadow and Silver with panic looks on their faces. Hey guys, what's wrong? I asked as I walked over to them.
Shock said it wasn't a knockout spell she hit you with. She said it has something to do with the full moon.
Shadow told me with fear in his eyes. Hey, speaking of which, why isn't it putting us under a moon spell? You know, because of the Murad thing. I asked as I forgot about it until that moment.
I don't know why either. Maybe it doesn't affect Mobians.
Silver said just as confused. I got curious, so walked past them and looked at the full moon intensely. Well, it sure looks beautiful tonight, I said nervously. That's when I felt strange. I immediately told Annika. Silver did just that. Then I felt intense pain as I saw my arm become more muscular and with longer fur that was a darker shade of blue tipped in white, and my hands became larger with sharp claws that destroyed my gloves. What's happening to me? I asked as tears fell down my cheeks from the fear and pain. A few moments later, the pain went away. I suddenly got the strongest urge to howl at the moon, so I did. Then I slowly turned around to look at my siblings. That's when I saw my reflection in the glass of the balcony double doors. Oh my gosh, I'm a monster. We can't let anyone see me like this. You guys aren't afraid of me, right? I said as I started to panic.
Calm down, Sonic. We need to tell Mom and Dad about it at least, okay?
Shadow said as he did his best to put his hands on my shoulders since I was taller than him now. I nodded as we headed back inside. Silver put Annika in her crib and tucked her in before following us to Donut Dad and Pretzel Mom's room. Shadow, can you knock? I don't know my own strength while like this and don't want to accidentally break down their door, I asked as we walked up to it.
Of course, Sonic.
Shadow said and gently knocked on the door, but still in a way that let our parents know it was urgent.
Come in.
We heard Pretzel Mom say, and so we hurried in. Donut Dad, Pretzel Mom. I know I don't look like myself, but it's me. But I'm so scared. I've turned into a monster, I said as I started to lose my composure and sob. Then Donut Dad took me in his arms. Despite my changed height, I was still short compared to adult humans.
It's going to be okay, buddy.
Donut Dad said soothingly as he rubbed my back. I just let all my tears out. So grateful to have such amazing parents. What's happening to me, Daddy? I swear that's how scared this was making me. Then Donut Dad ended the hug with a hand on my cheek.
Sonic, please don't cry. Everything will be fine, and you're not a monster. You're still the same Sonic. But how did this happen?
Donut Dad told me as I leaned into the gentle touch. Thanks, Donut Dad. I sat and explained what happened just a few minutes ago.
Don't worry, sweetie. If this is triggered by the moon, then you should be back to normal in the morning, right?
Pretzel Mom asked thoughtfully.
She's right, Sonic. Now we should go to bed. We'll need our rest for tomorrow.
Shadow added comfortingly. I simply nodded as we left for bed.
Meanwhile, with Robotnik, he had arrived at the outskirts of Green Hills and now he was impatiently tapping his foot. He knew Oogie was coming to Earth eventually, but he didn't expect it to be this long of a wait.
What's taking him so long?
Robotnik asked out loud, and as if on cue, Oogie appeared in front of him.
Sorry for the wait. I had to send my henchman to do spy work on your enemy's house. Who knows what he's hiding, right?
Oogie said darkly.
I wish you would have waited to do that. My drones are far more stealthy.
Robotnik said as he rolled his eyes.
So, Doctor, what is that?
Oogie asked as he pointed to the metal hedgehog. It's a metal hedgehog.
I'm Metal Sonic.
Metal Sonic replied in a chilling voice.
Impressive.
Was all Oogie could say. Several minutes later, Lock and Shock appeared in the van.
Mr. Oogie, sir, you've got to see what I caught using my camera spell. Right? Is hiding things.
Shock said as she pulled up the footage.
Wait, there's a third hedgehog and they have a baby sister now.
Robotnik said in shock, just before he got a devious look on his face.
Also, Sully and Midnight are here and reunited. I could have sworn Sully was captured by those humans back at that government facility.
Oogie said in frustration. Then they all noticed Robotnik's expression.
What are you thinking about, Robotnik?
Oogie asked as he looked at Robotnik in suspicion.
This info gives me a much clearer plan.
Then he told them what he was planning and they all laughed darkly afterwards.